What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Today, we're going to be talking about Jalen Duren, the All-Star. The All-Star. And it's kind of it has a certain taste to it. It has a certain ring to it. Um, Jalen Duren, man, he has come a long way. Just earlier, I was giving a shout out on a short video to one Jalen Brown, who is completely rewriting the narrative that a lot of people had of him. A lot of people had of him. There were a lot of people who were skeptics about him, and he just kept proving them wrong. Eastern Conference Playoffs MVP, NBA Finals MVP, multiple time All Star, and now he's having an MVP like season. He's rewriting the narrative. He is doing something that I don't think any of us saw him doing. And now here comes Jalen Duren, the man of the hour. The man of the hour. Let me just say, Jalen Duren, I'm going to do a victory lap somewhat in this video, in this live. I'm going to do a victory lap. Because last season, outside of me and Downtown Deuce, shout out to Downtown Deuce. Outside of me and him, I don't know, maybe there was maybe one other holdout for Jalen Duren at the start of last season. People forget a year ago, late November, early December. Jalen Duren's defense was atrocious. Couldn't stay out of foul trouble to save his life. So inconsistent. And people were so ready to get rid of him. In fact, the summer before, people wanted us to bypass on Ron Holland and trade up for Donovan Clingan. Or trade down. Just get Clingan instead of Ron Holland. And I said that would be a mistake. That's what I said. In Spaces, I was on X. No longer on X. Gets a little bit much on that channel. But I got other things to do with my time anyways and stay up and just be on random conversations. I'd rather talk my stuff here. But a whole bunch of folks wanted us to go get Donovan Clingan. Wanted us to trade for Walker Kessler. I'm not saying Walker Kessler is a bad player. I'm just saying I was the one to say Jalen Duren just needs some more time. He's 21 years old. At the time, 20 years old. And I said, I think he's going to round out into form. He's got something about him. He's showing me certain fundamental aspects of his game that are simply uncanny for somebody his size. You see, most players who are that agile, have that good of footwork, usually are far thinner. Guys who are lighter on their feet, run up and down like a Derek Lively, Tyson Chandler type. Usually guys who have that type of verticality are a lot thinner. Usually guys with that level of touch, sometimes a little bit pudgier, right? Guys who don't have the athleticism to rely upon. And so they develop elite touch. And yet somehow I'm seeing this footwork, agility, verticality, skill, touch in an absolutely behemoth of a young man. 6'10" and change, 7'5" wingspan, 260 pounds easy. And it's just all granite. It's all granite. We haven't seen something like this since maybe Shaq, DeMarcus Cousins. The reality is these types of physical attributes don't come often. But then when you count in a competitive drive, in the same draft rolling out as Chet Holmgren, right? Paolo Banchero, those guys. There was a certain degree of skepticism about his game. And granted, he was young at the University of Memphis. He was young. People did not know what to expect from him. People were uncertain if he was ever going to become the player that we're all seeing today. And as a result, a lot of people were willing to write him off. Were willing to say that, well, at the time, Dwayne Casey and Troy Weaver We're reaching. We're reaching to try to bring in a Jalen Duren to move up in that draft and go get Jalen Duren to pair along with Jaden Ivey. People called it a reach. People said they were doing too much. People questioned the decision. And well, the rest is history. Jalen Duren is on the verge of his first All-Star appearance. And I will say the first because I don't see too many centers in the Eastern Conference who are going to be truly able to supplant him. How many other centers out there are going to be winning and producing at this level? Now you can point to an Evan Mobley in Cleveland. Okay, I'll give you that. But outside of him, I mean, you got Karl Anthony Towns. Okay, okay. But when you think about the injury histories of an Evan Mobley, because we all know injuries happen, Karl Anthony Towns, right? When we think about what it takes to really make the journey, it really is leaning towards the advantage of younger players. So guys like Joel Embiid, guys like Karl Anthony Towns, even Mitchell Robinson and Jared Allen, and some of these quality bigs in the Eastern Conference generally don't play the amount of games it takes to really stay competitive for these All-Star berths. Now, it's something that they aim for, but you know, it can be tough. It can be tough. All that's to say is, I think Jalen Duren is on the verge of multiple All-Star appearances. I think he's going to have a run of All-Star appearances. I foresee at least 4 or more All-Star appearances. When we look at Jalen Duren's game, what the beautiful thing about it is that we're still only seeing glimpses. We're still only seeing glimpses. Hang on a second. What we see from his game today is not the game that he's going to have a year from now. At the base, yes. But there are so many levels for him to continue to progress and not necessarily add to his game as much as it is to step into that realm of confidence, to explore his game, to utilize his game instinctually, for him to begin to start to look at himself as an all-star. And if I have to start with one main point, it's that making an all-star game could unlock his confidence. And I'm not talking about that he lacks confidence now. I'm saying that he is going to grow in confidence above what he already has. That he is going to start looking at himself as an all-star. That he's going to start having that chip on his shoulder. Now, I will say this, that the key to maintaining that chip is also to have multiple all-stars appearances. Don't just get there once. Don't just be the Miles Turner, the Brad Miller, the Roy Hibberts. Don't just be the guy who is a glimpse, a flash in the pan, and people are just like, yeah, he's not really an all-star, but they got to fill somebody in there, right? Injuries and stuff like that. The key is to get back multiple times. But it's to say that making your first, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And Jalen Duren is on the verge of that. Currently, right now, Jalen Duren is averaging, pull it up here, at 22 years old, 18, close to 19 points, 11 and a half rebounds, 1.8 assists. He's playing more minutes than he has in his career, 29.2, 65% from the field. Get his free throw, 75% from the free throw line, shooting 7 attempts. The aforementioned 11 and a half rebounds, the 1 block, and hopefully getting those fouls down. One of the things that I like about watching players progress is that it's never linear. It's never linear. Players oftentimes show you spurts of things, and then it takes them a while to kind of come back around to it. It takes them around to It takes them a while to really uh, develop that kind of awareness of how to apply their game most effectively for their team's success. And for Jalen Duren, it's taken a while. Remember, we saw his first corner three as a rookie. We haven't seen a 3-point shot since. And now in year four, we start seeing the turnaround jumper, the pull up jumper, the little hezzy pull up at the top of the key. Now all of a sudden, we start seeing him become more comfortable with that jump shot. It takes a while. It takes a while. But the beautiful thing about it is that as we watch Jalen Duren, the All Star, develop, there's certain things that I think is going to also change about the dynamic of this team. I think that as Jalen Duren recognizes that, similar to my argument about Nikola Jokic, is that in the land of the blind, the one eyed man is king. Right now, the center position is barely starting to team with talent. And when I say team with talent, I'm talking about like, I got a little garden in my patio situation over here. And there's small plants arising from the soil. And you just see these little sprouts. And that's what a lot of the talent is when it comes to the center position. You have some individuals like Demontis Sabonis who've been around for a little bit now, Nikola Jokic, right? You see the kind of like withering, dying plant of Joel Embiid. I hate to put it in that, categorization, but you can see that star is falling off. Maybe it's plateauing or descending a bit. But then you see these like young sprouts. You got the Alperen Şengün, you got the Evan Mobleys, right? You got the little succulents of like a Jarrett Allen, solid guys, but never really gonna, wow you. And then you start seeing these young sprouts of a Zach Edey, Jalen Duren. You start seeing these bigs emerging that could this dude be special? Could this guy be special? Could he be someone who transcends the norm, transcends the the average of an NBA starting center to arrive in the rare air space of being a star? Now, I suppose it begs the question that we define what a star is, and I'll define it for me. You all can put what you think is a star player in the chat. Have that conversation there. But before I do, we got 10 people in here in the chat. Please feel free to smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing for y'all. It's a big thing for me in the channel. Really do appreciate all the love and supporting y'all showing up on this Monday morning. JD has told us that there's more to come. I I bet. I bet. Salute, Broderick Hunter. It's good to see you in the chat. Uh, BD Buster, what's good? I think the NBA is biased, and he won't make the All Star team this year because of that. I will say this: pretty much any team that has the best record in their conference is going to get at least two. Is going to get at least two All Stars. It's just almost a standard at this point. If you have the best record, you're going to get two, especially if you have someone like Jalen Duren who's having big games. And when you look at how this team has been winning, it's a recognition that it's not necessarily about one guy getting those numbers as much as it is being a major contributor to the team's success that is now better than everyone else in your conference. When I think about a star player, I'll say this: a star player is someone who consistently is able to impose his will against the competition across the board. Across the board. Now, there are superstar level defensive players as well. And I did a video a long time ago about the superstar defensive players. Now, there's very few of them, but I'm shocked that they're not valued as much as the offensive player. Because I get it. Superstar offensive players are amazing. But I'm going to be honest with you, a superstar offensive player without a superstar defensive player doesn't get you very far. It doesn't. It can get you a first round exit as much as having a superstar defensive player can get you a first round exit. You have to combine the two. to really start looking at championship aspirations. And that was teams like the Utah Jazz, Rudy Gobert, and Donovan Mitchell. But generally, you want your superstar defensive player to have a little bit more offensive skill. But all that's to say, I digress. Um, a star player is someone who can impose their will consistently on the game, consistently across the board. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. You have a level of confidence, skill, abilities to impose yourself on the game. That means there's nothing they can do with you. That means when you really put your mind to it, when you lock in consistently, like not just show a flash, ooh, that was a good move, right? Like Brandon Miller is a great example of a talented player who has these flash moments, but he's not consistent in imposing his will. I mean, he's been, hurt a lot, and we all know injuries happen, but it's to say that the consistency, the consistency, game in and game out, you are consistently making plays that shape the game, that shape the outcome, shape the momentum, the trajectory of the game. At any moment, you can decide, okay, give me the ball. And that's rare air. That's rare air. I would have to say Jalen Duren is growing into that, is growing into his stardom, where more and more he's becoming comfortable and confident to look to impose his will. I said before in a previous video, I'm looking for Jalen Duren to have a bad shooting game and keep shooting. A game where he goes 5 of 15. Maybe still gets to the free throw line 10 times and gets his numbers. Right? A guy that says, I believe in my game so much that even if I have an off game, I don't stop shooting. Because that guy is the type of guy that in a playoff series, we could begin to play chess and say, we have a mismatch here with Duren. Remember, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. There's not very many dominant centers, especially in the Eastern Conference. So when you look at a player like Jalen Duren, there's pretty much no one who's staying in front of him. No one who has the lateral movement. No one who has the ability to guard his jump shot and prevent him from driving past him. No one who has the verticality. No one who has the strength and combined with their verticality. How many times have we seen Jalen Duren drive right into another defender's chest, knock them backwards, and dunk on them? Right? That's that DeMarcus Cousins. That's that Chris Webber. That's that Shaquille O'Neal. That's that Jalen Duren. That's that Giannis, right? Joel Embiid. These are what stars do. These are what stars do. Yo, salute to the chat. Attila the Hun. I love that saying. Yo, salute. It's good to see you in the chat. John Rock, it's good to see you in the chat. Can you tell me about NBA? Of course, I got you. Rashad Walker, Gary Payton was a prime example of someone who was an elite defender that intimidated with trash talk, but over his career became an all-star level player with his improved offense. True. Uh, BD Buster, like Kawhi 7 years ago. Yep, Kawhi. Yep. Attila the Hun, a Jalen Brown, kept getting better. Yep. This is the thing that I love about the game of basketball. It truly is a space where you have a lot of ability to take control of your own destiny in terms of how you develop. And with a lot of luck, right? Health, injuries, opportunity, you can have an incredible impact in a game that you love, on a team that has your back, supports you. And a lot of it is in your hands. A lot of it is in your hands. And you can still feel connected to a team, a group that acknowledges it, that can see it and say, you know what, man, you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. We appreciate you. We see you out there. And it feels amazing. You have to understand, Jalen Duren was one of the youngest players when he was drafted into the NBA. one of the youngest players in the NBA when he was drafted. Coming to a grown man's league at 17, 18 years old, right? It's crazy. BD, you are tripping. You are tripping. No way trading for Michael Porter Jr. No way. Or unless you're talking about Kevin Porter. All to say is what I love about the NBA and watching Jalen Duren's career. I kind of lost my point there. I'll put it this way: Jalen Duren, his ascension at his age, we have to begin to take a different outlook in terms of how we expect him to continue to ascend. We have to extend the runway. And this is why a lot of times teams like to draft young guys because they see an extended runway. But the challenge is with those young guys is many times the learning curve is also extended. So as a result, you see less return from them early on in their career, which means if you actually need them to or are trying to rely upon them, you're going to be disappointed a lot. You're going to be frustrated a lot. You're going to be looking at them like, hey, come on now. We could do better than this. Like, come on. And there's going to be a lot of growing pains with them. But if you hang on and they put in the work and they have enough luck on their side and opportunity, they can really show you something. I thought James Wiseman, before he tore his Achilles, unfortunately, at the beginning of last season, I thought he was on the verge of a breakout. He was another young center drafted out, actually, ironically, out of the University of Memphis. You know, when I look at Jalen Duren where he is right now, I would say he's about at 40% of his capacity of where he's going to be. 40%. 40. 40. Like, real talk. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. Jalen Duren's at about 40% of where he's going to be. He is in a position right now where he has still not unleashed his jump shot. He has not acclimated or grown his game to the point where he is able to realize the moment he starts knocking down that 16 to 18 footer regularly, the game is going to open up for him. It's going to become easy. It's going to become easy. Think about Karl Malone back in the day, if you can remember that far back. Maybe even Chris Webber, Tim Duncan. These bigs who had that little 16 to 18 footer, rise up, shoot over the top. They had the wingspan, shoot right over you, nice touch. And then all of a sudden, the moment you bite, pump, I'm right past you. One dribble, dunk. Pump fake, you don't jump, but you take that little lean forward, bump, and one. Pump, you don't close out, cash. The moment he unlocks that jump shot consistently, he's going to have the league in a chokehold. And ain't going to be nothing that the league can do with him. Nothing at all. I think I talked about in a previous pod that his jump shot also has the ability to unlock Cade Cunningham, which is a scary thing to really think about, that Cade Cunningham still has chambers of his game to be unlocked. Right now, he doesn't have a lot of spacing. And it's not necessarily due to like not having enough shooting, right? Everybody says, not all shots are created in the same way. Not all looks are created in the same way. It's not just you put a shooter here, shooter there. It's not that 1 + 1 is 2. Some of it is how he plays. Some of it is his ability to recognize what is there to him and what is available there to him, and making sure that he is moving in the most operable manner to make his game efficient. Sometimes you got to attack the gap, attack a spot, and not just always try to get downhill to the rim. But if he has a Jalen Duren who could do a pick and pop, right now we already got Isaiah Stewart. who's shooting this season, just pull it up here, 41% from the 3-point line. Isaiah Stewart shooting 41% from the 3-point line. So these are things that when we recognize what is available to this team, we still haven't even scratched the surface. What happens when that 41% grows in volume back up to 4 attempts like it was in 2022-23 season for Isaiah Stewart, that is? What happens when Jaden Ivey gets back in the game in that starting lineup and he's playmaking, able to run pick and roll with Duren and Stu, penetrate, kick? Now they're playing off each other between Cade and him. Now when Asar Thompson is running point forward, distributing to those two shooters, plus Isaiah Stewart in a corner shooting 40%. Right? Duren doing a little pick and pop when they do that drop coverage, and he pops right to that free throw line and just like it's nothing, like Alonzo Mourning used to do or Patrick Ewing. Right? These are the signs of someone's game that you only see amongst the greats. You only see amongst the greats. To have verticality, to catch a lob, to be able to have the touch on the interior to finish with the myriad of post moves. I mean, he'll give you the jump hook, he'll give you the up and under, he'll give you the up, under, turn back around and finish. He'll give it to you with the left, give it to you with the right. He'll dunk on you, put his shoulder into you. He's got the body control, the footwork. He can cross you over. And now when you had a jump shot, oh my God, look what it does. Look what happens. Jalen Duren's jump that's about to happen. We think we're seeing the jump. We think we're seeing a jump right now. We think. The real jump is going to happen after his All-Star game. After he plays in the All-Star game. After he plays amongst Cade and Jaylen Brown and maybe Giannis or Paolo and Franz and plays with these other guys that he's like, whoa, LeBron and Luka and Donovan, Ant, right? Wemby, Steph, right? These one-name guys that everybody knows. And all of a sudden he starts seeing himself there. He's going to start looking at himself differently. And that really many times is the biggest switch, is the biggest flip. When you're playing with those guys, and you're like, oh yeah, oh this is kind of lit. I could really do this. I could really do this. So then when you see Miles Turner in front of you again, when you see some regular dude on Onyeka Kongwu or something like that, you're going to be like, this dude can't do nothing with me. I was just playing with those dudes. Hooping. There's levels to where Jalen Duren is still ascending. I said he's at 40%. I just mentioned the jump shot. But I think the biggest factor in the jump is going to be his confidence. It's going to be his confidence. When you see yourself differently, you're going to move differently. When you see yourself differently, you're going to start making decisions that are different. You're going to start seeing the game different. You're going to see Cade getting crowded by a Dyson Daniels, because shout out to the Hawks who got them coming up. You're going to see a Jaden Ivey being crowded by Reese Shea or, I don't know, Vic Krejci, something like that, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And you're going to start looking at the middle and it's wide open. And you're like, I got this. Watch out. Let's go. Fake handoff, pump fake. Here we go. Go to work. And you're going to start looking at your one defender like, yo, if they only put one dude on me, I'm going for 30. I'm going for 30. But it's a mindset based upon how you see you, how Duren sees himself. That's the next jump there. I would say that the next jump after that the jump shot, the confidence, is going to be combining his scoring and playmaking, where he becomes an offensive hub. I can completely see Jalen Duren pulling an Alperen Şengün, becoming almost like KG, how the big ticket used to say when he was in Minnesota. 20, 10, and 5. That's what he expects of himself every night. 20, 10, and 5. I don't see any reason why Jalen Duren can't do 20, 10, and 5. In fact, if he's consistently putting up those numbers, what that does for the longevity of Cade Cunningham, Jay Nivey, Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, Ron Holland, the rest of this team, it opens up everything. Everything. Because now there's no one person that they can lock in on. Attila the Hun, a KG and Rashid were my favorites. Yeah, those are two of my favorites too. Those are two bigs who were just unassuming and yet absolutely vicious out there on the court. Though I would say that Rashid was more laid back than KG, but both extremely talented, but played both ends. I'll say this. Uh, Jalen Duren is also going to improve as a defender. I don't see him ever becoming a great defender, but I could see him being on that Nikola Jokic, Alperen Şengün arch, where he's going to be average to better than average for more of his career than not. These first 3 years, 3.5 years, he's getting up to an average. He was bad when he first came here, but pretty much everyone is as a rookie. This year, he's getting to that average. He's more dependable, especially more recently. He's becoming dependable on the defensive end. And that's another jump, but I think that's going to be more spread out along that arch of development for him. I think pretty soon, when we see the jump shot emerge, when we see the confidence, when we see the playmaking, the passing kick back in. And if I have to actually forecast, if I would say how it's going to progress, is I would say the confidence first, because you're going to see more consistent play of bigger offensive scoring output games. So that'll be the first one. Then he'll make the all. He'll keep scoring, and I think he'll start unleashing that jump shot more in 2026. Then we'll see the playmaking towards the back end of this season. He starts getting back around the 3, 4 assists a game, March and April. And then we also see the defense consistently at that average. By that point in time, verified, validated all-star. Then the next step after that is going to be when he starts thinking the game. Thinking the game. When he starts playing the game within the game. When he stops just playing in the moment, reacting and responding to what's happening around him, and he starts plotting and scheming. Oh, I'm going to get this guy in foul trouble quick. Real quick. What's going on, Gretzky? It's good to see you in the chat. When Jalen Duren starts thinking the game, playing the game within the game, that's when he will truly ascend. I think that's still going to be another season or two. Usually it comes after your body slows down a little bit. But because of his early induction into the NBA, on that arch, he should still be under 30 by the time that he starts thinking the game, by the time he starts processing it, by the time that he starts plotting and scheming what he's going to do, how he's going to get to his numbers, how he's going to affect the game with minimal effort and energy. They often say youth is wasted on the young. And it's because of that right there. That sometimes when you're young, you do things the hard way. But that's also how you learn how to do things more efficiently later. So you can't really knock them. But the thing that allows certain guys to arise to get to that stardom level is they accept the wisdom and the understandings and they learn from the older generations early. That's really how you get good. People want to, a lot of these kids are practicing all these moves. They want to win in the 1v1s and they want to do all these different things, but they don't understand that there are certain aspects of the game of basketball that you are going to have to figure out. And most of the moves that you're practicing really aren't going to mean much if you haven't bought into some of these things that are just wise. It's like having integrity, right? Being kind to people, being respectful, right? Being someone that others can trust, right? These things might seem like, oh, it's nothing, but show me a player who players can't trust. They get dismissed from teams. They get kicked off of teams. Kevin Porter Jr., who just had this amazing game against us the other night, remember he was dismissed from the Cleveland Cavaliers under JB Bickerstaff, traded away. Integrity, character, right? Who you are and your maturity goes a long way. We just had Cade Cunningham's interview with Kevin Durant on his podcast, and he talks about finding out that he was going to have a child while he was still in high school in his, I believe it was his junior year, right? And shout out to his parents who held it down. We're like, look, this ain't gonna stop your life, bro. That's what a family is for, right? And you saw that it only made him more mature. I wish some people would have that outlook that sometimes kids grow you up and you need to grow up. And you need to grow up, right? You need to let that change happen. Quit trying to be Peter Pan and be a kid forever and run these streets and do whatever. Grow up. It'll be better for you. It'll be better for you. All is to say is that there's this character arc that has to happen that comes with age, that comes with time. And I think that when Jalen Duren begins to get a little bit more seasoned, a little bit more accustomed to not just being an all-star talent, but being relied upon for his leadership, being on the court when it matters the most, having the ball in his hands when all eyes are watching him and the lights get big. And as life happens, failing in some of those moments, falling short in some of those moments, and having to hold that until the next game, until the next season, right? Like Kobe Bryant had to do way back when he was a rookie and he takes that last second shot in the playoffs against the Utah Jazz. I mean, the series was somewhat already decided, but it's to say that he takes this shot and he airballs it, right? That drove him to be in the gym all summer long. By the time he came back that next year, it was a wrap for the league. He was unleashed. He was unstoppable. So it's to say there's going to be an arch of maturation, of seasoning for Jalen Duren. And I think that that is truly when he will have the opportunity to step into his superstar, that level of potential. Now, like I said before, to become a star, it takes a lot of luck, takes a lot of talent, hard work, opportunity. And he's going to have all those available to him. The opportunity, he'll get in abundance. As much as he's out of foul trouble, he will be in the game. But as he matures in his game, oh, bruh, oh, bruh, it's finna tear the league up. It's finna tear the league up. Can you imagine a matured Jalen Duren catching the ball, looking for the handoff, seeing if he has an advantage here? Okay, he's guarded pretty closely. I don't need to force this. Okay, he's guarded pretty close. Backdoor, it's not quite there. All right, I'm gonna face up. I know there's a few times I've seen him not even look at the basket. I'm like, if he faced up, he had a little 16-footer right there, right at the free throw line elbow. Wide open. His man was in the key, under the rim practically. And I'm like, oh man, imagine when he starts seeing that early. He starts feeling it. Oh, my man's not guarding me. Bet. Turn. Wait for them to go by. Face up. knock down, bang, bang. You better guard me out here. You better guard me. Knock down another one. Now he's guarding you. Pump fake, bow, right by him. Pump fake, free throw line, right? Like when he starts realizing that the game could be easy. Like Lauren Hill said, it could all be so simple, but we'd rather make it hard. It could be easy. It could be easy. And I told a story a long time ago about how me and my boys, when we was young, late teens, early 20s, we was we was going out to this park, San Jose. Uh, it was in Willow Glen, and it was me and my boy, Rez, Jay, Nick, Adrian. We had our squad. We had our squad. Shout out to the boys, right? Um, we go out there, we ready to just run everybody off the court, coming in confident. You know when you roll five deep in one car, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we out here, got our squad. We wait 2, 3 games. We good. We good. No, no, you don't have to pick us. No, no, we got our squad. We good. We good. Let me step foot on this court, man. Our confidence aura was crazy. It's crazy. We thought we was OKC. And then this old school group of brothers looked to work us out of our shoes. It was the most embarrassing loss. I think we lost like 15-7, like 15-7. And it wasn't until it was like 10-3 that was like, hey, something's happening here. And then it was like 13-4. And we was like, yo, okay, hey. And it was like, then when they beat us, they was like, man, no hard feelings, youngsters. No hard feelings. It was like, yo, man, hey, if you want to come to this barbecue afterwards, we don't want you to be upset. So, we gonna beat you and then we gonna feed you. Just like your parents do. We gonna beat you and then we gonna and we was like, it was talking to us so much trash. We was like, whatever, bro. You lucky we hungry, bro. And we didn't even get back on. It was like a 5-game wait. It was a packed park. It was hot. Because the veterans understood something about the game. It's not necessarily one with just playing with more energy, with more athleticism, with more talent. It's played up here. They knew when to cherry pick. They knew to look ahead for the cherry pick. They knew to play for the backdoor cut. They knew to play for the mismatch. Get the guy in the post that nobody knows. They got that jump hook that's unstoppable. Right? The guy they know they got that jump shot and that's his spot on the wing. Shoot, they already won 3, 4 games, so they warmed up and ready to go. And they proceeded to work us off that court so systematically. Man, it was like one of the most embarrassing and yet pivotal all striking moments in my young basketball life. I was just like, this is wild. This is wild. Wild. And they had some good size too. All this to say is that when you have that type of ability up here to think the game and you still have the physical attributes, that's when you become great. That's when you become great. And I think Jalen Duren has that in him. I think he has it in him. I think he's in a great situation with JB Bickerstaff. He's got Fred Vincent over there, Jarrett Jack, Rasheed Wallace coming in to work with him. Um, Ben Wallace still, around. Some of the greats are starting to slide back in and talk to the guys. You got a young team that, like a Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, Dennis Jenkins. You got young guys that can still be his peers. That he's not necessarily the youngest guy, so he can be looked to be more of a leader. I think Jalen Duren is in such an amazing situation in his career that he should be able to continue to take these leaps, continue to take these steps forward. Like we keep saying, God willing, injuries happen. Stay healthy. But he's showing me the hard work. He's already shown me the talent when he first came into the league. I said, "Oh, he's got the talent. He has the talent." He's not Bam Adebayo. I never liked that comparison. He's not as athletic as Bam. He's also far longer, taller, uh, probably more polished offensively at this stage in his game, and nowhere near defensively. But it's to say that when I look at Jalen Duren, I look at his game and I go, "Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Now you just take the journey." So I'm doing a bit of a victory lap here. This kind of a victory lap episode when it comes to Jalen Duren. Because a lot of people wanted him traded. A lot of people wanted Walker Kessler, Donovan Clingan. A lot of people were like, this young guy ain't got it. He ain't got it. And I was like, give him some time. Give him some time. Give him a moment. Let's see. Let's see. I think he's still young. He's still young. Let me see. Artificial hip. Yo, it's good I haven't seen you in the chat before, especially if any of our integral pieces with injury history, Stu or Sar, go down come postseason time. Oh, you must be having another conversation. Um, Attila the Hun. Pistons haven't played their best ball yet. Got to figure out their rotation with Ivy. Isaiah Stewart starting Harris off the bench? Question mark. They are playing at 80% capacity, just scratching the surface. I agree. I wouldn't even say that they're at 80%. I'd say that they're probably at 60%. Because what Ivy's going to do in his reinsertion into the starting lineup, probably by the end of the month, I would hope, I would be hopeful for, um, is going to also create a new dynamic, which is going to give this roster a new shape. It's going to give it a new shape. It's going to give it a new dynamic, right? There's a big difference between having two ball handlers and having three, four if you count Duran. It's one thing to have two guys on the floor who could get you 20 and having three, right? There's a big difference in what he's going to add. Isaiah Stewart getting his volume shooting up. Asar Thompson becoming more settled into his finishing around the basket. Ghost Keeper was good, was good. Salute. Oh, you never got notified? Yo, make sure you hit the bell. The little bell is like a like button, subscribe, and there's a little bell. If you click on it, you press all notified. All notified. And then anything I post, the shorts, the posts, questions, polls, stuff like that, you'll get notified for all of it. Speaking of which, if you haven't smashed the like button for me, please go ahead and do that. Remember, it's a small thing for you, big thing for the channel. Really do appreciate, love all the support. This is such a dope space. This is such a great space for community to talk Detroit Pistons basketball and just NBA stuff. Um, but yeah, this season has been a tremendous season for the Detroit Pistons. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. Proud of Jalen Duren. You know the corners that he has turned. He has continued to progress. He has continued to work on his game. He has bought into the work ethic that it takes to be successful in the NBA. It's apparent by how he is continuing to show up. His impact on the game is absolutely, I mean, just incredible. Incredible. When he's grabbing us 15, 16 rebounds, it's just incredible, especially when he's staying out of foul trouble and he's getting to the free throw line 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Man, he is a beast. He is a beast. I think there are very few players who have his athleticism, physical strength, touch around the rim, skill with the ball, and can make free throws. When you combine those things, it's absolutely scary. It's absolutely scary. Absolutely scary. And that's why we are seeing these jumps in his game. I think this year he makes the All-Star game. There's been so many injuries with other centers who might compete for that spot. Giannis continues to be out. Paulo continues to be out. Uh, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, like these guys. You got Towns more than likely if he hits his requisite number of games, but outside of them, I don't see anybody else who's anywhere close. Trying to think record wise, who's close in the East. I mean, Jakopoto, no. Yeah, Yakakamu, no. So Jalen Duren, he feels like he is on that verge, and I think what playing in that game will do for him is it will elevate how he sees himself in relation to everyone else. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what we look like in this stretch that we're coming up on. We've got Atlanta on Friday. We got Boston, I believe, 2 days after that. Then we got Dallas. Uh, and I want to say we have Charlotte. That's gonna be a nice little 3 out of 4. And Charlotte is somewhat of a trap game because they're a team that's playing a lot better, getting someone healthy, but you never know any given day with Charlotte's health. But after the competition of an Atlanta, Boston, and a Dallas, it'll be easy to let your foot up off the gas against a Charlotte. It will. And so it will be interesting to see how we get through these next 4. But I don't expect anything less than winning 3 out of the next 4, which will put us at what, 22-6? Right now we're 19-5. This is one hell of a season, y'all. I hope you're enjoying it. I always want to leave y'all with a word for the day. Um, man, enjoy your journey. Enjoy your journey. Don't compare yourself to nobody else. Nobody else. Just like a Jalen Duren gets drafted with Chet Holmgren and Paulo Banchero. All right, it is what it is. And he got a lot of those comparisons. And it was easy for folks to look at him and say, you should be further along. Just like in your life, it'll be easy to internalize what you see on social media, television, movies, and music, and you think that you should be further along in your life. Take your journey, bro. Take your journey, sis. Lock in on what you have going on. Make the decisions that are right for you. Because the reality is, there's no competition in your game of life. It's just you. It's one of one. Doesn't mean that you're disconnected from everyone. You want to surround yourself with good people. But it's to say that your journey is for you to figure out, for you to make the decisions that are best for you, and recognize that what's best for you many times is also what's best for your family and those around you. Jalen Duren's steps, even when they've been frustrating, have all been a part of this team's success this year. And sometimes we don't always see it in that interim, in those early stages. But stay the course. Stay the course. If you're trying out a new career, if you're going back to school, if you're getting a new trade, if you're changing jobs, if you're figuring out a new relationship, you just had a kid, right? Stay the course. Stay the course. It may be rough right now. It's not going to stay there. Jalen Duren's first 3 years was rough. Rough. We remember last December. It was rough. Stay the course. Stay the course. And I believe it'll work out for the best. I truly do. With that, yo, I got to get out of here. Hope y'all have an amazing day. Amazing day. I'm on here 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uh, a little bit of CP time, 8-ish, 11-ish. But make sure you smash that bell for notifications. So as soon as I jump on, you get notified. You can jump on with me. So as always, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and the bell for notifications. And I'm going to get at y'all later. Peace.